Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States, of course. Do I even need to say that? Of course you know where I'm from. It says it in the title too. So, it's Mark. You know who I am. I'm doing fantastic. Hopefully you are as well. Thanks so much for coming. Today, this is episode 3 of DownieLive, right? His canal boat adventure. I'm excited to see this. I've really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I'm really have been kind of excited about canal boating since watching these. Before we continue, of course, below is links to the channel and to this video. So if you don't want to hear me pausing and or see me pause and hear me yap and talk over everything, go watch it and then come back. And that way, of course, you can help me understand things that I'm missing, of course, because that happens all the time. I love our channel. I really do. I do most of the learning after the video. That's what's awesome about all of you. The wealth of knowledge that I get to have from all of you has just been invaluable. It's just been remarkable. So I'm excited to watch this with all of you. Come sit on this big fake couch. But please go and support DownieLive. Mike over there has given us his blessing to watch these and learn. And learn from them. And so I'm just grateful and blessed that so many original creators have given us the okay. So it's awesome. Hope you're having a great day. So let's do this, huh? And here we go. Oh, God.
How are things out here?
We're beached.
Oh, no.
The UK has a network of over 2,000 miles of canals.
I know this is just the beginning. I forgot to tell you where you've been watching. It's the highest canal, Aqueduct, which I just find crazy that they need a bridge to go over things for a boat. Just the whole thought process of that. And it would be, I have to admit, pretty freaky. So I'm anxious to see this. A lot of craze. Last week we saw just that boat lift was remarkable. I've been told there's another one coming up. I don't know if it's in this series or the newest one that he has out, which we'll catch down the road. But the engineering of that last one was pretty astonishing. But of course, here we are talking about a bridge that is meant for these canal boats to go. It's an aqueduct, not a bridge. I understand that. That is just, it almost gives me like, like a ride at Disneyland kind of vibes. And it's going to be freaky. So I'm excited to see it.
And we've come to Wales to drive a boat across the highest and
Oh my
longest
gosh.
canal aqueduct in the UK.
And there's no railing on this side.
But we didn't know this is also the narrowest canal on the network.
This is a snug canal.
I'm Mike, and I'm traveling with my partner Nicole on 4 boats on 4 canals in the UK to experience the joys and challenges of narrowboating. And this week, we're joined by Nicole's university friend Rachel to enjoy the Llangollen Canal for episode 3 of DownieLive Travels by Boat. And it starts here in the small town of Trevorrow.
So we just picked up our boat from Anglo-Welsh Narrowboat Holiday Company. We booked using drifters. Let me introduce you to Fitzroy. So
Fitzroy.
Let's take a look on board. As usual, we board at the back of this almost 60-foot long boat and enter bedroom number 1. Behind it is the first bathroom. That's right, there are 2 of these bathrooms, each with a shower. Then further down the hall is the second bedroom, and behind that is the second bathroom. You get it. Finally, we come into the modern and functional kitchen. Great stove, cooktop, little prep area and pantry here. Then we have the living room with 4 comfortable chairs and a wood-burning fireplace in the corner.
No way.
I really like the details on the curtains. I love it. And of course, our front deck. So, let's start it up, get on our way.
You are now clear. Well, not on this side.
Bye, guys. So, let's get Fitzroy moving. I love this. The biggest boat we've been on yet, come out being watched by everybody. Gongoozlers. This is our biggest boat rental yet. And as I mentioned in the intro, this is the narrowest canal, which should make things interesting. I mean, we're barely out of the marina and already making a 3-point turn. Tight corner, right as we come out. Alrighty, look at that. This is a big boat. As you can see, the canal is barely wide enough for our boat, let alone if we have to go past anyone. Oh no, oh my gosh.
There's a boat coming. There's a
Oh,
boat
how does
coming.
this even work?
I can't go back, I can't go back. We're gonna pull over and let them, oh dear. For some reason, they drive on the left, but when you're boating, you stay to the right.
There's some reasons because the rest of the world, like the entire ocean and river, like everywhere else, it's right. So this is a waterway, so they treat it like the way they do all waterways. You pass on the right.
So,
Nicole
sticking to
coming
global
in
mariner laws, we're staying as far
with some
right as we can.
information.
If this is a sign of things to come, this trip could take a long time. So we were told this is the narrowest and busiest canal in the network.
That's
didn't really believe
crazy.
We've gone about 30 meters and hi there. This is snug. That was exactly the width of 2 boats. Last
Yeah.
week the canal was straight and wide, whereas this week is said to be one of the most challenging canals yet. You got it, Nicole? That's a power stance. You can see how the canal continues to meander along the edge of these mountains, which means the driver, or skipper, is constantly having to pay attention.
Beautiful countryside, though. I mean, no matter where you go, it seems like so far, we're only in episode 3, but wherever you go, the scenery is just mwah.
If they don't, this happens. Grounding.
Grounding a little bit.
It's a narrow and shallow canal. We've come aground. Rachel is starting to understand that narrowboating might not be what she imagined.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm beached.
Beached. Road in reverse?
It is like, how would you pass? It's like here. It would be my question.
Oh, look! It's so shallow there.
So
Strong wind out here. And with the bigger boat, means it moves a lot more. While Nicole drives, I'm doing research on this section to see if there's any history or landmarks we should know about. I find it funny because Nicole is the one with an actual geography degree, but I tend to be more interested in maps than her. We have warnings coming up.
tell you
Super
when to
narrow
start.
parts and blind corners, so they recommend sending someone ahead.
I mean, that is
That's
like
That's
pretty
wild.
perfect, baby. Hold it. Now, while the canal already doesn't feel very wide, it gets down to the width of just one boat every time there's a bridge. This is a snug canal. Perfect. Didn't touch the walls. So this is the Llangollen Canal. At least that's how I
Llangollen.
read it. But I learned the Welsh pronounce the double L's as cla, so it's actually pronounced the Llangollen Canal. All right, this part seems
Llangollen.
simple enough. Let's let Rachel drive for her first time while I tell you about the
Llangollen.
canal. The Llangollen here is called one of the UK's most stunning stretches of canal, and I can see why.
Yeah,
We're
it's-
cruising on a
it's
boat,
pretty awesome.
winding in and out of forest, along the hillside, passing sheep, and valley views for what is supposed to be a 2-hour trip to our destination this afternoon. However, something tells me it's going to take us slightly longer than that. But that's okay. Nicole has made snacks.
slow down.
And if we didn't think it could get any narrower, it's about to. We have a foot there, and we have 6 inches here. I mean, I could step off she goes, and that's all
Oh
we get.
my
If there's
God.
another boat coming this way, I don't know what you do. So they really
What do
weren't
you
kidding
do?
when they said this is the narrowest canal, though, are they?
Why did you think you were kidding?
Well, I just didn't think it could get much narrower than the Monmouthshire and Breck, which we did. This portion of the canal narrows so much that it becomes impossible for 2 boats to pass. And because it continuously curves, you can't actually see if there's anyone coming or not. And after we've made it through that section, this blue sign tells us that it gets even narrower again.
Channel narrows to 1 boat width for 500 meters. We advise you to send someone to walk ahead to warn of oncoming boats. No passing places. So we're going to find out, I'm sure, but when you got two boats coming up on each other, one of them's going to have to back the heck up all the way back to, or, you know, to whether you can have two boats width. You know what I mean? That is so weird. I wonder how many boats have to back up on this channel. You got them coming together, one's always going to have to go backwards at some point, it seems like. It's insane. And then you have like the largest boat too. It's like you would almost like think, well, he's a man of challenge. He's going to take up the challenge, but I would have wanted the smallest, shortest boat in lengthwise. It just seems a little bit easier. And then on top of that, they've been hitting the bottom. That's, ugh. But you know what? With those views that you're seeing every minute as you're going is just, it's so worth all of this, I'm sure, because it just looks absolutely amazing. And then if you can come across a pub, the coup de grace.
Channel narrows to 1 boat width for 500 meters. We advise you to send someone to walk ahead to warn of oncoming boats. No passing places.
So we've sent Nicole ahead to check.
It looks like you can have two boats there, though. To me, it looks like you can get two boats by, but it does look like, at this point. So this is like where you need to stop, send someone up, because in case there is another boat coming around that bend, you have a way for them to get by you. That's so crazy. Honestly, doing the towpath while your boat is going on this isn't a bad alternative either. Take turns, get some exercise walking in this beautiful countryside, forest looks like. Just pretty cool. Hop on and off whenever you want. Pretty cool.
There is one, 5 men fishing, but it's up where it widens. And they went by and they offered her gin and tonic, and she took it, and she sat there and had a gin and tonic with them.
Yeah.
Well, we should go join those guys.
Nice.
Thanks for the tip.
She knows how to live, eh?
She says it's clear, so let's cross our fingers
That
and get
is
going.
so
I'm up
cool.
against the wall and I can't get off it. There's no room on this side. I said, oh, you've got to go to Gangokland. It's so pretty. And it is. They didn't say it would be this difficult.
Driving a 60-foot long narrow boat with mere inches on each side is difficult enough. But add in the fact that you have to take corners as well, makes it darn near impossible to do without hitting the side.
I mean, this is so narrow.
It is like a ride at Disneyland, like one of those log jammer or whatever the thing's called, where you're on the water and you're just banging up against the sides. That's what it reminds me of. Of course, this is a 60-foot boat, and there's you're not on a track underneath to help you move and go up and down, but it's just hard for me to grasp, in a way. I mean, I've seen 2 other videos and one before that, but it's still just so unique to me that you could tell that I'm getting excited just talking about it, because it's just so cool. I want to do it. I mean, I want to try to drive one, pilot one. I guess not. You're not driving it, you're piloting it, I guess. I don't know if 60 foot would be something I'd want to deal with, but yeah, I mean, holy moly, that looks so cool.
Makes it darn near impossible to do without hitting the side.
And
This is so
if guys have gin and tonics down, all you gotta do is get through one little part and there's people offering up gin and tonics. Woohoo! All the better.
narrow. I basically don't have to steer. Just put the throttle on and we'll just bounce off the wall
Right.
uphill.
That's
Sorry.
Look, now we have an S-curve.
I mean, I don't know how anyone can do this without bumping anything. Like, I feel like I'm driving a school bus down a bowling alley.
That would arguably be easier.
That would be easier. This is a mini castle?
As we're now seeing more homes, or mini castles,
That's
we're clearly
awesome.
approaching the small town of Llangollen, which holds more
Llangollen.
canal history than I expected. In fact, this concession stand
Boom.
is made from the old stables for the horses that used to pull canal boats.
What's the plan? What do you need?
We're gonna reverse it in.
We've finally made it to the marina at the end of the canal. And I'm going to attempt to park this 60-foot beast.
Oh, look out.
No!
I mean, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Having
So
to go
we opted
backwards.
to stay in the marina tonight because all the moorings seem pretty busy. We want to stay here in Llangollen, which means we have to pay £6 to the marina for us to stay here. But it seems fair.
£6.
Our marina is
That's
at
it.
the edge of town. And so it's time for our evening walk to see where we've ended up. We've come all this way because this picturesque town is very significant to the canal.
Wow, this town is beautiful.
And yes, this river below us has a lot to do with it. But before I fill you in on that, let's get some groceries and make dinner on board. How is the kitchen in terms of functionality?
I'd say it's functional.
Yeah.
The thing that this boat has that the other two boats we've been on don't have is a fireplace. So we got some firewood.
That's
Well,
cool.
first things first, we have to put up the chimney. You see, it's gonna come out here. All right, let's put my camp skills to the test. Now we can light it. Fire extinguisher right here. Okay, let's see if the wood catches. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're in business. Let's burn wood. This is exactly why I love narrowboating. Just a cozy evening on the water in Wales. Smells like fresh wood. But in here it smells like roasting vegetables. Mediterranean dinner? We've had enough of the pubs. Couldn't eat any more deep fried food. Dinner on the water by the fire. We're pretty good.
He's better.
The rest of tonight is spent relaxing and catching up with Rachel by the fire, so we'll see you in the morning.
It's pretty. Having the fireplace or the stove, fire, whatever we're calling it, is pretty awesome. I have to admit, it's pretty cool. Definitely some wine would be, ideal for me to sit there with the fire and just talk and, if you had some friends with you, yeah, pretty awesome.
This morning, we're gonna go for a little walk, see where all this water comes from.
There's
Okay.
something integral to the canal up here, which is what we've come to see.
Oh,
So this marina
that Ponticilli, it's hard to pronounce. Aqueduct. We've seen. Okay, so I think the first video we saw together that's no longer on the channel because they didn't give me permission to do it. This was back in the guerrilla days, as they say. Was doing a video on this aqueduct. I can't really pronounce it, I don't think. Ponticilli? Anyway, I'm sure he'll say it. But yeah, the name, definitely remember that. I was thinking there may have been a different aqueduct. I was kind of thinking it might be the same one, but I didn't think that was in Wales, or at least I didn't remember it being in Wales, but maybe it's not in Wales and they're actually... Anyway. We'll
is
get
the
there.
end of the line. The canal does continue, but there's no spot to turn the boats around. So there's a sign there that says no boat traffic beyond this. But we're gonna see what's up there.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's the source of the canal. I hope you can see this weed that's floating in the current this way. This is the only canal with a current. Most canals are completely level and do not have a current. However, the Llangollen Canal, as you can see, does have a current. The flow
Okay.
is coming from Horseshoe Falls. And to get there is a beautiful walk along the canal. This sign feels a
Give
little
way
out
to
of date.
working horses.
Boats now have motors and aren't pulled by horses anymore, right?
Nope.
In fact, here in Llangollen, they do still use the old
That's cool.
canal-side stables to keep the horses in, because
They do horse-drawn tours up to the Horseshoe Falls, just like the horses would have pulled the barges back in the canals in the 1800s.
That's
the boats
awesome.
do not have motors. They're just pulled by horses. In fact, a horse can pull 20 times more weight by canal boat than it could by wagon, because the water floats the weight, and once you get it moving, you just have to kind of continue the momentum. The other benefit of pulling freight by boat is there aren't any hills on the water. Horse-drawn canal boats became the fastest and most efficient way to transport goods, until the steam train was invented and made the canals slow and eventually obsolete. But here in Llangollen, you can still experience a horse-drawn boat ride up the canal. Now, back to finding the source
I like
of the
it.
canal. I think we're getting close. And here it is, the source of the canal. The River Dee here has a small weir built which helps to divert water into the pump house. Any excess water overflows back into the River Dee, and the pump house manages the amount of water entering the canal, which is why it flows with a slight current. It used to be done manually with wooden planks. Now it's all digital, but what a beautiful spot. Everything is
That's
so green in Wales. Okay,
pretty
let's go see
cool.
that aqueduct.
I want to go back and take a
So
look
green in Wales.
Oops, sorry, everyone.
It's all digital, but what a beautiful
It's
spot.
beautiful. Look at that. That is so cool. I mean, absolutely well worth the hike up there. And to do one to get pulled by a horse kind of takes you back in time.
Everything is
Just-
so green in Wales. Okay, let's go see that aqueduct.
And the town, Llangollen. Uh-oh. Hey, good job.
Gonna come get me too? Thank you.
Onwards to the aqueduct.
Rachel is feeling up to the challenge of taking on the narrow stretch on our way back down.
Back past the sheep again.
Even Nicole and I were narrowboat beginners just 2 weeks ago. And as difficult as this canal is, Rachel is loving it. Then be prepared to go full gas. Hard that way.
Hard.
Hard. All the way. All the way. Now get ready to reverse. You're gonna hit it. Reverse. Perfect.
I mean, I feel like that was as good as it could have gone.
That was great. In less than 24 hours, she's gone from never driving a narrowboat to being the skipper as we start to cross the highest canal aqueduct in the world.
Okay, if you're afraid of heights, just skip ahead. Don't watch this part. We will be 125 feet up in the air. And there's no railing on this side.
Yeah, that part would freak me out. That there's no barrier there. Just, it would make my knees shake, you know? And I remember this from that previous video that they have the towpath on one side and just, yeah, pretty wild.
Wow, it's beautiful. This is the Poncesilty Aqueduct, a
Poncesilty.
UNESCO World Heritage Site and the longest canal aqueduct in the UK. The word Poncesilty is Welsh for the bridge that
Poncesilty.
connects, but is often called the river in the sky. We are floating in a boat in water that is being
Poncesilty.
held in by a 5-foot deep cast iron trough suspended 126 feet above the river and held up across 19 arches.
It's gorgeous structure from the ground and from afar. Those arches look amazing. And then just the fact that, you know, just a trough that goes around. We're going to make this so boats can keep going. Awesome. Didn't we, or I think I've watched a video on my own where they had to make repairs so they like block the water so they can from both directions or something, and to be able to clean it out and stuff like that. Was this the same Aqueduct? Poncesilti. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Poncesilti. But it was really fascinating, and you should check it out. I can't remember who did it, but it was interesting how they, and again, I'm not even sure if it's this aqueduct that they were doing it, but they blocked off sections to where they can work on a section. And it's not completely dry, obviously, but the water does go down, and they're able to clean it out because there's a lot of trash and stuff that falls to the bottom of that stuff. And, so that way they can do some maintenance on it. And, it's stuff when you just kind of look at it, you look at these marvelous structures and stuff, you don't go, gee, I wonder what the maintenance schedule's like on those things. It's like when you look at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, they have to repaint that thing every year. And essentially you start painting it, and it takes a year to paint the whole bridge, and then you just kind of start over again. Or something like that. It's just bizarre. But you look at it and you're like, well, how does it keep the orange color? And it's because they paint it all the time. And they're constantly painting, from what I understand. Just you don't look at things and go what the maintenance is on that thing. It's pretty wild.
Construction was started in 1795 and took 10 years until completion in 1805, and is the highest canal aqueduct in the world. And look at that smile on Rachel's face.
You're doing really well. You're doing really well.
Yes, you are.
All of our faces.
That's so funny.
How cool is this?
I can't believe you're able to drive a boat across this unassisted. This is an experience you can't get anywhere else, and I'm so glad it's still here for us to not just look at, but use.
Yeah,
So
and I
just
love the
anywhere
fact
else on
that you
canal,
can
it has
enjoy
a
it by
towpath,
walking
of course,
as
it's
well.
full of barges along, but myth has it that kids used to take this bridge to get to school, and if they were crossing at the same time as a horse, they'd have to jump over the railing and hang there and wait for the horse to go past.
Oh, no way.
I think it's thrilling.
That was great.
Yeah, it was really great.
But now that we've crossed the aqueduct, our experience is not over. Coming around the next corner is the next challenge, one we haven't encountered yet.
Thank you. Perfect, Nicole.
Oh, is
Here
it
we
a
go.
lock?
We have ourselves.
A lift bridge.
Oh,
Haven't
lift
done one of these
bridge.
before. There don't seem to be any instructions, but I think it operates just the same as a lock.
Okay,
What's it feel
there it
like?
goes.
Smooth?
It's really smooth.
You can see there's a pedestrian bridge behind the lift bridge, where pedestrians can cross at any time. Only cars use the lift bridge, but it's still in our way.
It's a little slower than I expected. It could take a while.
Okay, you do some.
I guess that means you're driving, Rachel.
So the rules of these bridges is that they're meant to be kept down for cars and pedestrians, and only when a boat comes through do we operate it, put it up. Once we're through, we put it back down again.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of
Massive
work.
counterweight at the end to counter the weight of the bridge, so it goes up pretty easily. Don't let it come down on the boat, Nicole.
And Rachel either loves driving the boat now, or she's just getting smart enough and saying she does, so we do all the cranking.
Would you like a turn? I'm winding.
Sure. I was kind of expecting you could just let go and it would come down. You actually
Have to crank it.
turn it and use force.
How did it go? Great. Thread the needle. I like that we all switched every job that we had.
Good job, Rachel. Thank you.
We were only planning to go this far today, but with Rachel being so happy at the tiller, I think we're just gonna keep going.
We're now coming up to the White House Tunnel. It's 174 meters long. Average time at 2 miles per hour should take about 4 minutes. If you go
Have you seen the smile on my face right now? I'm just so enjoying this. How do you not just keep going? I mean, if you have no time restraints, just amazing. I don't know if I would want to have to crank those bridges and do the locks. But it's exercise, so I guess there's that.
Go further left. I'll take a peek if there's anyone down there. Oh, just barely. There's another boat coming out. They're just getting into it, but they're just before us.
And that's exactly why you always double check before entering a tunnel.
Yeah,
Yep.
we both stopped. Better that way than not stopping. Yeah. I love the tunnels. I love the aqueducts. I love the canals. I love the boats.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love the drawbridges. And I love the crew.
I know we went through a tunnel last week, but I want to show you that if you go through a tunnel with your GoPro filming a time lapse, it kind of looks like you're traveling at warp speed.
Come out of the Chirk Tunnel. We have a little basin for waiting here, but it's pretty much one-way traffic through the tunnel and onto the aqueduct. Hi, guys. Hello.
Enjoy your trip. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Ah,
It's no wonder this is one of the busiest canals in the system. Now, there's so much to see, but the most interesting part about the Chirk Aqueduct is that it crosses into another country.
Now
okay.
we've just gone from Wales to England.
Okay, we're going to just stop right here for right this second. I want to kind of see if I can find and see what it looks like from Google Maps from above. So I'm going to dart out here. We're going to, this is Ventura. So it's kind of like if you've played that game GeoGuessr. I'm no good at it. I'm going to be terrible trying to find this. So just bear with me. Feel free to yell if I'm close. So we're going to zoom out of where I live. Okay. We're going to head on over to Wales. And I have no idea exactly. I got to look for Conklocklin. I'm just going to say it real fast because then I'm like, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Conklocklin? Conklocklin. It's just, it's so hard with the tongue, right? Boy, this is going to be difficult. So I'm looking for Conklocklin or Pontus, these names. Ponticillet Aqueduct. Where is the aqueduct? Where do I need to be here? I don't think it's that far north. It's near the border. Hey, Wrexham. Here's Wrexham. And here it is. Okay. Wow, it's close to Wrexham. Awesome. And there's Conklocklin. So what does this thing look from above? Wow. And here's the River Dee. Okay, it's long, for sure. So from here, how far is the border between, and here's the border with England down here. Starts over here. I was kind of looking left to, like east to west, looking, or west to east, however you want to say it, for the border, but it's actually, if you just go north and south, you find the border right down here, straight south. But I'm sure that's not where the canal takes you, though. Interesting. Is it over here? McLaughlin, towpath. These are, okay, so here's the White House Canal Tunnel. So once they get through that, get down here, and here's the border. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you for indulging me there. That's awesome. I love getting on Google Maps sometimes, or Google Earth, whatever, and just kind of cruising around. So many names, though, that I can't pronounce. That Welsh language is so difficult. But yeah, totally close to Wrexham, and then totally close to the English border too. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I want to do this. All right, back to the show.
All right. That's
Sweet.
the Chirk Aqueduct.
And honestly, the English section of this canal feels very different from the Welsh side. The canal is now wider and straighter, and we've come across our first locks on this canal.
You're doing it.
It's never long before we're back into the action here on the canal. But of course, that being said, it's also not long until you're back out and cruising and relaxing on these calm waterways.
Dang.
This part of the canal passes less through forest and more through open agricultural areas, which, as a fan of cows and sheep, I love.
Their fleece was as white as snow. I don't know if I've ever seen a black sheep before.
But there is one final piece of architectural design that I find fascinating, while most boaters won't even notice it.
We're gonna see if we can do this in one shot. So, the old days, horses pulled the barges. As I've explained, in this situation, I will be the horse and I will attempt to pull this boat. And we've already got a little bit of momentum. But what happens when you need to change the tow path from one side of the canal to the other side is they have this subtle but really unique piece of architecture. This bridge, normally you would continue down there, which then you would have to disconnect the rope and reattach it. But this spirals back to the same side it was on. Our rope is still attached. So step over it, and there we go. And now the horse can continue pulling the boat through without having to unhook. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is actually.
All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And that is why there are smart people coming up with these sort of things. I mean, you gotta, it's like, well, how can we make this better? We gotta get over to the other side, but we don't want to unhook everything. Someone's like, well, how about if we just, curve the bridge there at the end? That way you can just hold onto the rope. Good thinking. Good thinking.
Of me on the boat.
So to end the day, we made dinner, I did dishes, and then
Oh, no.
How are things out here?
We're beached. Right in the middle, too.
Wow, you're not near the edge at all. Getting our beaching pole. We haven't had to use this one yet. All right, you ready to give it a little juice? Give it a little.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Oh, it's really soft.
It's just going into the sand.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Yes, give it the juice.
yeah, I think Rachel's still enjoying this.
Nothing a little power can't fix.
Finally, Rachel's had her fill for the day, so now it's my turn for the final challenge, and maybe the most important part of the day, finding the perfect parking spot. The ladies have decided to go for an evening walk along the canal, so it's a solo job for me.
Could park here with all the boats. There's a cow's field up ahead. You know where I want to be. I feel like I'm looking for a parking spot outside of the stadium on game day. I've never seen it so full. Oh my gosh, look at this.
Hi. Hi. You guys know of any parking spots? Ladies? Parking anywhere nearby? Got a spot? Friends? Very friendly people here. Great neighbors. Great neighbors.
Sometimes the toughest decision of the day is deciding where you're going to spend the night.
I think we found a spot. We'll just park up here. We'll take the last spot. We'll take it right at the end. What a day! What a day!
Canal life is constantly full of challenges and adventures, but it's all at your own pace. Rachel picked it up in no time flat, and it's days like we just had that make these trips so rewarding.
That's not going anywhere. Whew. Long day. I think we got it. Close to town, with reception, next to a cow field. We'll see you in the morning.
As night falls, this is where I start the teaser for next week's episode, as we take the deepest lock in the UK and cruise the Rockdale Canal during the lowest water levels of the season, which has created tension on board between Nicole and I as we try to get to the deepest and longest canal tunnel in the UK. So make sure to subscribe. Go ahead, I'll wait. I mean, you can always unsubscribe if you change your mind, so there's no risk. Go ahead. Subscribe.
That's true.
So you don't miss episode 4 of DownieLive Travels by Boat.
Please, 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 if you have a like and subscription to give today, please go give it to Michael over at DownieLive. Just very, very cool video. The Poncesillet Aqueduct is just truly amazing looking, and must be just an absolute thrill to go over. Even if you're just walking, freaky, that one side It doesn't have any railings, but it is what it is. But just what a cool experience. And I do want to drive one of these. I want to try it. I don't know if it'd be something I'd want to do all the time, but it would certainly, I would like to try it. And since you're going so slow, you don't have that fear factor of really driving up the embankment or something. But I wouldn't want to hit another boat. Just there's so much to see. If you love beautiful landscapes, how do you not love narrowboating? Everything you see is just absolutely gorgeous. So y'all have some beautiful land out over there. It is for sure. It's incredible. I'm trying to think how cool it would be to have like canals in the States here in certain parts. That would be pretty awesome. But I'm sure it'll get ruined somehow. And to park in the marina was only £7. Maybe that's a lot, but to me that doesn't seem like a lot. To stay overnight, all day, yeah, no problem. I don't know. You'll have to let me know if you think that's a lot, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's certainly a one-of-a-kind experience. It's very unique. I know there's other countries that have canals, and they probably have this sort of thing, but nothing I imagine compares to what you have in England and Wales and just the whole system. And then throwing on top of all that, you have all that history. And then these ancient marvels of just ingenuity, the boat lift, this aqueduct. We're going to see these tunnels. I mean, the tunnels have to be built. So, I mean, it's wild that it's 17, what did they say it was? 1785, the late 1700s. When they built that aqueduct, that just blows my mind. It's crazy. Great video. Go support him. The links will be in the description. Get over there, like and subscribe to his channel if you don't already. If his videos interest you, get over there and watch them without me talking over them and pausing. It's just, and then if you want, you can come back and join us. But it's just really cool. And I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm blessed that he's allowing us to see these things. I'm really geeking out on this narrowboating thing. I don't know if I can get my wife to agree to do something like this. So that I'll have to actually, I don't know how to even broach the subject, to be honest with you. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to London. But after that, I'm going to maybe, if we can get maybe another couple to go with this, just her and I traveling like that, I don't think that'll work. Such narrow confines. One of us will always be walking on. I'll tell you what though, my wife would want to drive. She is she loves to, I don't want to say control freak, but when it comes to operating a vehicle or a boat, I think she would want to drive for sure. But yeah, awesome. Hey, hope everybody is happy, healthy, and safe. Thanks so much for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you later. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from